Welcome in. You already know what time it is. Alex Kleininger in the building. Let's dive into the Nexus. Let's dive into the Nexus. Step into the zone. Carolina stories got a life of their home. From the pages to the labs, yeah, we break it all down. If you love those books, you're at the right sound. Let's dive into the Nexus. Yeah, the mics stay reckless. Hometown justice, legends in the message. Casey Yokin's on the trail, solving cases non-stop. Turn it up loud, yeah, the Nexus don't stop. We talk plot twists, characters, theories. Author Q&A, getting answers you've been hearing. Special guests slide through, pull up a seat. Chaotic conversations with the Carolina heat. From small town drama to the mysteries deep. Every chapter got secrets we're ready to keep. Laughs laid back, but the energy wild. If you read Kleininger, you already family now. Let's dive into the Nexus, step into the zone. Carolina stories got a life of their own. From the pages to the laughs, yeah, we break it all down. If you love those books, you're at the right sound. Let's dive into the Nexus, come and connect us. Alex Kleininger live, yeah, you rocking with the Nexus. Hit play, stay tuned. Every episode fresh. Welcome to the Carolina Nexus. Brought to you straight from Carolina soil. Press play and let's dive in.
What's going on, Carolina Nexus fans? I had planned on doing the Magic the Gathering show today, but I've not heard back from the special guest, so we're just going to stick with it and go. Magic the Gathering episode will be live momentarily. Let me see if I can get a hold of my special guest. Again, I'm sorry if they don't show up. We'll reschedule. We'll do it again. If they don't show up, we'll go into a live reading. That's how we'll work this out. Doesn't seem to be answering my live requests, so I may just pull up live reading and go ahead and do it. Hell. Give me a second. So they're not responding. I'm going to try one more time to reach out to them. And if they don't respond, we'll just go to a live reading and let it be done. So, show of hands, who would like to go ahead and dive into this reading? You know what? No, we're not going to do a live reading. I'm going to do the Magic the Gathering episode myself. I'll invite a few friends. Let me see what I can cook up over here. I'm still trying to figure this out, guys. Who all I can tag that'll show up and interact for this Magic the Gathering episode. So give me just a moment. Let's get a few more people in here, and then we can go and discuss Magic the Gathering. While I wait on that, So much planned for this show, guys, and things didn't work out. I'm not upset. I'm gonna make the best of it. The show must go on. I promised a Magic the Gathering based show, so that's what we're gonna have today. Just give me some time to get some stuff figured out because what I had originally planned didn't involve me adding stuff to the screen, but now I'm gonna have to add stuff to the screen. Mad Buddha himself, the the guy I go to for all my rulings question, ask, "What is your MTG hot take?" My MTG hot take: Eldrazi are the best. I don't give a crap about the rest of you people and the other tribes. Eldrazi are the best, and that's why I'm the Eldrazi elite. You knew that was coming, Kenny. You knew it was coming. I don't care. But no, seriously, the hot take that I have is Prime Tight to be unbanned in Commander. Okay, so how about this? Um, the gatekeepers of Magic the Gathering that say you can't play with proxies, those people need to be removed from the community. I think proxies are fine, as long as you're doing it to play test a deck before you spend the money on the cards. Or if you're like our play group, Kenny, where we all built our proxy decks, that's a different story. Proxies are allowed within reason. Um, Take, for example, my Emrakul the Aeon's Torn, signed by Mark Teeden. If I don't want to use that card and I make a proxy of it, I have proof that I own the card, so I should be allowed to use a tournament setting. My personal opinion. Um, but people that proxy like Black Lotuses or any of the Power Nine just to proxy them and own a copy, and then use them in their decks without the intentions of ever buying them, I think those people shouldn't be allowed to play proxies. It's cool to put the Power Nine in your deck. You're going to play with your friends as long as your friends are okay with it. But to bring them and say you own the card to use in a tournament, that's when it gets a little iffy, like a little gray area. I do believe, without a shadow of a doubt, proxy should be legal. For the example that I gave, I don't want to use my Mark Teeden signed Emrakul Aeon's Torn. So if I proxy it instead of buying a whole other card, I should be allowed to use that proxy in place of my signed copy. And that's just my personal opinion. I can't remember what card it was back in the day you had, Ken. You had a play set of signed lands by your favorite artist. And if you didn't want to use those signed lands, granted, I think those signed lands were islands, white border islands, so they were a little bit more expensive than regular basic lands. But you had a play, and if you didn't want to use those playset because they were signed, because you didn't want the value to diminish, and you proxied those islands to put in your deck, I think that should be perfectly legal. Um, Another good example, and I know the guy personally, so don't hold me to this, but Post Malone has the One Ring serialized. If he doesn't want to use that in his deck because he paid so much money for it. He proxies it, which again, this is Post Malone. He has money to buy his own copy of the One Ring that isn't serialized, but that's beside the point. If Post Malone suddenly went broke and all he had left was his Magic cards, and he didn't want to use his One Ring and he proxied it, I think that's perfectly allowed. Why do you think it was bold for prime time to be unbanned? What made that a bold statement? And you're right, he wouldn't be broke if he just had his cards. That was stupid on my part. But again though, I think proxy should be allowed with exceptions in tournaments. If you can prove you physically on the card, you should be allowed to proxy it. Amber asked, in your opinion, who's the most dangerous MTG commander currently? Any of them that is piloted by Magic Buddha. I know that's a broad term, but he can take an innocent looking 1-drop 1/1 commander with vanilla abilities or no abilities at all and turn it into a deck that wins on turn 2. It is that bad, Kenny. Any deck you play is dangerous. Any deck. Any deck at all. I don't know, Ken. You have to try. Send a pic. If it let me show it on the screen, I'll show it on the screen. If not, private message it to me and I'll bring it up on the screen myself. I do know in my family, and Amber, you're my wife, so you know this is true. In my family, um, my youngest son will tell you he hates playing against, not my youngest son, my youngest son that can play Magic. My middle son, Riley, will tell you he hates playing against Kennen or Elshnorn. Uh, Amber doesn't really care what I play. She's taken her casual deck and threw it up against my Eldrazi's. Um, she's taken her casual deck and threw it up against Raph and Mikey, which is quickly becoming my favorite deck that I've built. Um, a lot of people don't want to play my Eldrazi's. There's this stigma that the Eldrazi's are too OP, but just like any deck, if you stop it before it gets started, they're not OP. But a lot of people just see Eldrazi and automatically want to scoop. It is what it is. Um, my Amber asked, "What is my favorite color combination to build in Commander?" That would have to be the very first Commander deck that I ever built without um, Kenny's involvement. I'm not gonna lie. Every deck that I've ever built, I've had Kenny and Donna helping me. They've been the guidance through my gathering journey. But the very first deck I built without their guidance was Thraxmandar. He's Grixis, which is blue, red, black. I love my Thraxmandar tribal zombies. Um, and I still have the deck list, so I can rebuild it if I get the urge to rebuild it. Give me a second, Kenny, and I'll bring it on the screen. For the uninitiated of my viewers that doesn't know what exactly we're talking about, Magic the Gathering is a trading card game released in 1993, if I'm not mistaken, by Richard Garfield, and has since evolved into a worldwide phenomenon. It was the very first trading card game of its type. It led into Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Duel Masters, Digimon. All those trading card games came after Richard Garfield's game, and um, a lot of us have found joy in it. So this is what Ken is telling me to look up. Where is the? There it is. Desktop. He says this is his next commander. If it'll come up on the screen now. There it is. Orna, Coral Tyrant. Uh, see, I told you he can make any creature, any deck deadly. This is a 0/8 creature, which means it deals 0 damage if he attacks with it, with no abilities whatsoever, and it's a 2-drop. So it means it's going to be a mono blue deck, and with mono blue with Kenny, that means it's mono blue control, and he's going to control the board to do what he wants it to do, which is great. I'll put Raph and Mikey up against it any day. It's pronounced Lorna Coral Tyrant, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to show you guys some of my favorite commanders that I currently run or recently ran before I just tear some of them apart, and show you the ones that I'm currently building in just a moment. Don't you dare those sea creatures Eldrazi, because they're not Eldrazi's. So currently, these are some of the cards that are some of the commanders that I run or have ran in the past, and I'll share them with you guys. So I'm going to split the screen and we're going to show it up here. This is Raph and Mikey. It's currently my favorite deck that I've built without anybody else. And in the play runs, it's done fairly well for me. It came back from a 2 life. I was at 2 life. It came back from 2 life, and I'm loving the deck. I've got to get 3 cards for it to complete it. So 3 cards in it are proxied right now, and that is okay in my opinion. Amber asked what my least favorite color combination to go up against is. I don't have a least favorite. I just hate going up against sore losers. People that get mad because you're playing cards in your deck and want to label. People that get mad because they think they're supposed to win every game. Those are the people I hate going up against. And Ken can confirm this. I've played multiple games against him, our friendship, and I've lost a good percentage of them. Not even gonna lie, I don't have a win record against. I think the most I've won against him is like 3 games, not in a row. 3 games in 15 years, 16 years, something like that. Oh no, God no, it's longer than that. 26 years. 3 games in 26 years. That's my win loss record against Magic Buddha. The losses are in the thousands. It's fine. He's still one of my close friends. I still sit down knowing he's going to be overpowered because he's running it, and I still attempt to beat the game, to beat the deck that he puts up against me. And that's how it works. That's how you get better at the game. You win. You learn more through loss than you do through winning. In most cases. Yeah, I know. Showing my age a little bit. So the next commander is one that I'm getting ready to tear apart. I loved running this card. It's Elshorn. She's a flip commander. She turns into a sod, then comes back to the battlefield. She was mono white. Riley calls it my mom deck. He hates running against it because of a combo I have in there. Um, I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but it's time to move on from that phase and open up a slot in my deck case for something else. Same thing with Kennen Bonder Prodigy. I love Kennen. I built the deck. It was great. It's had its fair shares of wins and losses, but I feel like both my play groups have become too accustomed to it. So it's time to build something new and put Kennen on the back burner. This is currently my favorite deck until I finish Wrath and Mikey. Master Splinter, Radical Rat. He's pretty well the Esper control ninjas. Of course you did, Ken. I can't wait to play that one. Um, Ideally, I was going to replace. I was going to retire my Eldrazi commander, which is this one, Zula. I was going to retire him and build Kennen into my competitive Eldrazi deck, but Kennen got too um, complacent with my play group. They hated it, so it was set down at table uh, automatically made me a threat, even though most times I would go 3 or 4 turns without drawing a single fucking card or a single land. So they automatically targeted me, which is fine. I didn't care. Miss Baloo, how you doing? Today's show isn't about the books; it's about Magic the Gathering. I thought doing a live read, but then I decided no. I promised viewers a Magic the Gathering edition, so we're going over Magic the Gathering right now. Yeah, but you know me, Ken. I like under the radar. I want them to know what they're playing against. Here is the Captain Howler that Ken asked me to bring up on the screen. It's going to be his next brew. Let's see if I can. Ward, 2 mana, pay 2 life. So you're paying 4 for it. If you want to target it, whenever you discard one or more cards, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Each card discarded. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player this turn, you draw a card. Nice, nice. So I'm guessing the one piece is going to be something in your deck you're searching for, the win con, right? Amber asks, what are my thoughts on the newer math cards they released in Strixhaven, bringing math into Magic like Math Magics? Well, Math Magics is a ridiculous card, but because everybody's going wild over it, I think it's going to be too pricey for the common player to play. But math was already in Magic the Gathering. +1/+1 counters, -1/-1 counters, prowess counters. Math was always there. It's always been there. So they're just making us do more math. If they'd have done that in the early days, most players that play Magic the Gathering would have had better math grades. Oh, it's already put together and ready. Let's go. Exactly. Ken's favorite card, Pox, makes you do too much math. It deals with fractions and shit. The Unset dealt with math. You had creatures that had half power and toughness, and mana that created half mana or 1.5 mana. So math has always been a part of Magic the Gathering. It's just Math Magics and Strixhaven brought more math. Oh, did some pretty wild to FNM last night. That's pretty good. That's fun. Exactly. It brought more math. First, you just had to deal with adding and subtracting. Then they added multiplying and dividing. And now they're adding exponents. And they've already added fractions and mixed numbers and stuff like that. It's just going to get more and more complicated. This is my next brew. And I fell in love with this card on a. So this is my next brew. I have not seen Lady Octopus deck. But this guy, I built him on Arena, and I've won quite a few games with him on Arena. So I'm gonna build him in real life now and see how I can do with that. Here's the Magic the Gathering hot take, Ken. They need to release Arena on consoles and more than computer and mobile. Make it more accessible. Codus isn't going to be zombies. Actually, he's not going to have many creatures in it. I'm going to build it the same way I built it on um, Arena and make it go. I said, so Ken says there was a gap in the stream when I said the last thing I said. I think, Ken, another Magic the Gathering hot take, Wizards needs to make Arena available on consoles, not PC and mobile. Um, Dual Planewalkers was a great game and taught me playing the game than Arena has. So I think they need to go back to this format, release console games. What's up, Chris? Thanks for listening in. I know you're on Ken's side of things. I do. I miss having on my PlayStation 3 and playing the game. I think Magic and Wizards needs to take a book and release something similar to uh, Master Duel. Master Duel is Yu-Gi-Oh's online console game that goes on PC, mobile, and yada yada yada. And they keep it constantly updated with all the new sets releasing through Yu-Gi-Oh. So I think we should do the same thing. Return to Duels of Planeswalker, or even take Arena and put it on console. I think it would work just as well because Duel Masters works just as well, or Master Duel, not Duel Masters, works just as well console as it does on mobile and PC. So they should do that. That should be something that they need to do for the community. It would be a way to play test decks, like I said with Codus. I've used Codus on Arena, and I want to build it the way I built it to on Arena to just pop off and go. And I think if they put it on console, they could add Commander, they could add Standard and Brawl and all these other formats that they can't add to Arena. Right now, Arena doesn't really have a Commander format. It has Brawl, which is 60 card Commander. I'm pretty sure Brawl 60 card. I haven't played Arena in a hot minute though. I prefer my real cards too, but again, it'd be a deck building tool. If they don't want people proxying cards, this is how you do it. You do it in digital format. Build the deck you want to build, and if you don't like it, you didn't lose any money on it. Um, Actually, there was one. It was when we played 60 card before Commander became a thing, and you used you called it Batman. I think it was Hellcarver Demon, and you exiled 3 cards, and got to play those cards from exile. That was the one I hated playing against, and I played it. I beat it though, and the only reason I managed to beat it was because of Dustin. Exactly, Amber. Exactly. See, I'm a blonde, but my memory works sometimes. And that's why when you sat down across the table from me with Crick, I thought you were going to pull a Hellcarver demon out of it, and I was ready for it. I hated it, but I was ready for it. I have one of those too in Splinter, just so you know. Splinter is my go-to deck now for when I want to kick some ass. I have a hidden commander in Splinter. And if you don't believe me, message Christopher Jones and ask him about shooting himself in the foot with it. And that's just like when Donna played. I hated her vampire deck in 60 card. It was it was something about the vampires in 60 card that I absolutely hated. But I'm glad I played against those vampires because when Commander became a thing, um, and Edgar Markov came out, I knew how to deal with them then. If I were to challenge someone to build a style of deck, either tribal or theme, what would you want them to build? I've mostly only built tribal decks, so I challenge somebody to build a theme deck. Amber got a theme deck going on with Braylon the Haymaker. She's finding cards that have rabbits in the artwork and putting that card in the deck, as long as it's in the color combination. That would be something that I would challenge. Vadric. It was your most recent one that I had fun playing against. Vadric was my all-time favorite of yours to play against, no matter what the odds are. Of my play groups, I have two play groups. Vadric was my favorite deck to play against of yours, Kenny. Um, Caesar is my favorite deck to play against. Donna's. Chris's Lord of the Rings deck was pretty fun to play against. Either that or his enchantment deck. Then I don't care which of Amber's decks I play against. I have fun playing against all three of those. And then my favorite deck to play against you guys was Thraxmandar. Now I like my Eldrazi, don't get me wrong, but has always held a special place as far as when I play against my friends. Thraxie was always my go-to. I never won with Thraxie against you guys. And Magic Buddha himself has joined us in the studio. What's going on, Buddha?
No, not a lot. I guess you just got tired of chatting with me
What
in
are
the
you guys
comments,
into?
huh?
It's easier to do it this way. Plus, you can
I've
use
been working
the
all
if
morning.
you're on your laptop, you could click the little plus symbol and add your own pictures to the screen. You've been working all morning. I thought you was playing with Chris.
No, I'm on call. I had to get up and been working since 7.
Okay.
But then I saw your stream and I figured I'd hop on.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. So, what's your? I'm gonna steal some of Amber's questions. What's the worst color combination you hate playing against?
I don't like playing against Azorius decks.
For those of you that don't know, Azorius is blue-white.
They're obnoxious. And they have commanders like Grand Arbiter Augustine IV that
Can lock everybody out.
It doesn't lock people out, but it doesn't make it fun. Which
that part.
Stax is the worst archetype to play against. It's not fun for anybody in any capacity. Which also goes into my MTG hot take. People who like to play stacks are horrible people.
So I guess that makes Donna a horrible person. She likes playing propaganda and Rhystic Study.
Well, Rhystic Study, in my personal opinion, is not exactly a stacks piece. Stacks is by definition inhibit players from playing the game. It keeps you from doing something. Rhystic Study does not stop you from doing anything whatsoever. You don't have to pay for Rhystic Study triggers. Is it dumb if you don't? Absolutely. But it does not stop you from playing the game. Winter Orb stops you from playing the game. Meekstone stops you from playing the game. Godpharaoh statue stops you from playing the game. Rhystic Study does not. Smothering Tithe does not.
Okay. So
Mystic Remore does not stop you.
Rhystic Study is more of a tax piece.
Correct.
It gives you options. Gotcha. Amber says she's taking notes on how to beat you, Kenny.
Good luck.
But there are ways around the tax, though. One of our favorite content creators, Rip Pull Repeat, has repeatedly done videos on goading creatures. If I've got sphere of safety on the battlefield and you're forced to attack me, you don't have to pay for it because you're forced to attack me.
Correct, because goad is worded as if able.
Yes.
But that's not here nor there. It's just my thing is stacks isn't fun, but like propaganda stacks, Ghost of Prison stacks, Grand Arbiter,
Sphere of Safety.
Those are stacks pieces because they slow the game down. And I'm at that point in my MTG lifespan that I'm like, if I can't have a reasonable game that's going to end in a reasonable amount of turns, I don't want to play against you. I don't care how much I like you. If you're going to sit down and you're going to play stacks because you think it's fun, I'm not. Because another philosophy of mine is that earlier you mentioned that people say, "Oh well, you can't play Eldrazi, you can't do this, you can't do that." Well, the thing is, for anybody who's listening or watching or whatever, you can't tell somebody what they can and can't play.
You can only
It's their
dictate what
cards,
you do
their
play against.
deck. Exactly. If you don't want to play against a certain archetype or a creature type, like I don't like playing against stacks. If you're playing a stacks deck, I'm not going to play you because I'm not. But I'm not. I'll never tell you, hey, that's your favorite deck, that's your pet deck, whatever it is. I will never tell you that you can't play it. Play your deck. There are people that will play it, and there are people that enjoy the challenge, and that will entertain it, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm not one of those people. But I will never tell you that you can't play your favorite deck. If you like playing Eldrazi Annihilator theme, you know what? Play it. If I want to go through that agony, I'll take my shot. If it's an archetype I don't like, I'm not going to play it.
Well,
Which
it's
is
also
another, I guess, MTG hot take of mine.
I have this mentality. If I tell you that I don't want to play against it and you're still wanting to play me, but I'm gonna use my competitive deck to try to end the game before your deck gets started. I've done that a few times at checkpoint games with Zuladoc. Had Zuladoc in the deck box, explained to it that he was my competitive commander, and these were the commanders I was looking to play as more of a casual setting, and they brought out stacks because I hate playing against stacks too. It slows the game down. I love playing stacks, but I hate playing against it. If that makes sense. But they brought out stacks, and I'm like, okay, it's not a casual thing to do. And he's like, yeah, we had a game last night that went on for like 4 hours because of my stacks pieces. I'm not going to sit here through a 4 hour game. I don't like you people enough to play a 4 hour game. My play group,
That's
I
too
play with
much.
them, no problem. But people I don't know, I'm not going to play a 4 hour game. So I pulled out, ended him on like turn 5 because I had to put Zuladoc on turn 4, and I don't have a way to give him haste and commander wise, and he already had Spear of Safety, so I cast it. Zuladoc, I couldn't pay the tax to attack with him, but then I cast my next spell on turn 6, got Artisan of Kozilek and Pathrazor on the field, and that was pretty much the end of it. So,
Let's see. No, if I'm going to turn around and play games for 4 hours, I would rather play a quantity of games versus the quality of a long 4 hour game, because at that point I'm like, there was just too much.
the longer games burn you out faster than the quick games.
Exactly. I rather turn around and play 4 1 hour games than play 1 4 hour game.
That part, and it's like I said, people that I'm comfortable playing against, you, Donna, Chris, for example. I'll play a 4 hour game against you guys. I won't necessarily like it. I'll play a 4 hour game against you guys because sometimes our games take that long. We're countering each other. We know what's coming. We know what to expect. That's what happens when you're comfortable with a group of people. If it's at a local game store and I don't know, I've only played with this person one other time, I'm not going to sit through a 4 hour game with them because that's redundant. I'm there to get as many games in as I can.
Exactly. That's agreeable. I'm not doing that shit either.
All right.
Most of my decks now, they just play at a decent pace. Captain Howler's my newest brew to my collection, and it plays fairly quick.
Amber,
Like
shut
I
up.
got into
You me at home.
I got into a pod yesterday at the Friday Night Magic, and I was playing my new Captain Howler deck, and player 4, I was actually player 1, so because I went first. So I stole, well, before I did, I was doing a bunch of discarding effects, triggering my Captain Howler to put a +2/+0 buff on target creature. Since it targets, I can politic with it. I kept targeting player 4's commander. He was playing Atarka, the one that when it attacks dragons you control gain double strike. So I would target it, beefed it up a little bit, made it kind of nice and big. I put 6 power onto it with 3 discard effects, making it a 12/4. And then I stole it. And then I attacked player 3 with player 4's commander and ended him in a single combat phase with 24 commander damage.
I don't want it from you because you stole my Ulamog that one game, and I haven't quite forgiven you for it.
Hey, what
I think you were
happens at
playing
the con
Atreus.
stays at the cons.
I think you were playing
I'm
Kratos and
still
Atreus,
rocking that
and
deck.
I haven't quite forgiven you for stealing my Ulamog. That still burns me. And then I convinced you to put Ulamog
I
in your
don't
deck.
think it was-
So
the synergies, like, I don't like Eldrazi as a tribal type, but I mean, like, good cards are still good cards.
exactly.
I mean, there's a singular natural Eldrazi in my Omo deck, and then there's the Defiler in my Kratos and Atreus deck, but that's just because it scales with the +1/+1 counters.
Yes.
But I don't remember stealing anything with it from my Kratos and Atreus deck. It doesn't have theft effects.
You took control of
I
it
was playing
somehow. I don't remember
Kyrie.
how you did it. Oh, yeah, you're
Kyrie.
playing Kyrie. That's it.
Yeah, I was playing
Yeah, that's it.
my mono blue dragon death deck.
Yeah, because you and Donna were playtesting
That's
against
what.
me.
Yeah,
Prepare for
for
a twin-headed
the
giant.
two-headed giant.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what
So what's
that
your
was.
favorite colors to play against? Any of them besides Azorius?
Well, blue white is my least favorite to play against. I like opponents who are versed in Jund decks, red, black, green. I think those are like very
Right.
fun, and I think they have the most interesting abilities and card pool that you could put together with Jund. I like playing against a good quality Jund deck because like it's a deck that doesn't have to rely to sneaky shenanigans like counter spells and whatnot. It can undercut you. It has big hitters. It can draw just as much as a blue deck can. I mean, Jund is just really fun to play against, and it's one of my favorite color combinations too. Also, Pilot.
I've actually built or brewed a Jund deck from my least favorite Jund commander.
Least favorite?
Yes. But I'm gonna give you the universes.
Which
I'm gonna
one?
show you the universes beyond commander because that's the one I'm gonna use. I'm not using the universes within commander. The universes within commander is Marika Brutal Gladiator. That's the
Okay,
one I
so it's
hate.
Zangief from the Secret Lair.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good
And
one.
I was tasked with building a tribal board wipe tribal. That's what I'm calling it. And there it comes on the screen. Zangief, the Red Cyclone. I've brewed it. I'm working on getting all the cards, put it together because I want to play board wipe tribal.
Board wipe tribal. What part of it is tribal?
There's more in it than anything else.
What? Well, that doesn't make it tribal or in MTG's new ruling typal. It makes it
But that's what I'm
theme.
calling it. That's the theme, but it's the name of the deck. Board wipe tribal is what I'm calling it because I've got every imaginable board wipe in those three colors in the deck.
One of my favorite and first commander decks I ever did was Crush the Blood Braided, which is a good strong commander. Creatures
Don't remember
die,
that
he
deck.
gets stronger. No, this was. I mean, this was literally one of my very first brews I ever did. That and Riku of Two Reflections.
That one is Exalted themed, right? Riku,
No,
or I
no,
get that
Riku
confused with
was
something else.
Riku back then was Rug before it got the teamer name. Um,
Ah,
but it was copying stuff. It was a 5-drop commander that whenever you cast a creature spell, you could pay Simic and copy the creature spell, and whenever you played an instant or sorcery, you could pay Izzet and copy the instant or sorcery spell for 2x, which is red, blue, and green, blue. And it was
Powerpuff
a
Girls.
red, green, blue commander. It was a very fun brew.
There's Krish.
It ain't quite loaded up on this end yet.
It's still
Yes,
uploading.
Crush the Blood Braided. I see it now. Yeah, that was one of my very first brews. It wasn't that artwork because that's from the Vault Legends, I believe it is. But
Yeah, Board Wipe Tribal was supposed to be a douche deck. I would have loved to play it against Krish. That sounds like a fun ability to have on a commander.
well,
And then I don't remember who the commander was. I don't remember all the cards, but you built Dustin this 60 card deck that had grappling hook in it. I hated playing against it. It was a tie between that deck and Hellcarver Demon.
yeah, well, he also didn't pilot that deck very well either. I mean, everybody plays.
I know the
differently,
answer to
so,
this question, Buddha, but I'm gonna ask you anyway for the fans. What is your least favorite tribe to play against, and what is your favorite tribe to play against?
Least favorite would probably be Slivers. I think you already knew the answer to that. I hate
did.
Sliver decks. But there's also other ones that I equally hate, which is Goblins and Elves, because they do the most with the least. And Merfolk. Merfolk are just dumb. I wouldn't know. I don't know if I would have a favorite tribe that I like to play against. There's a bunch out there, but I don't know.
Okay, what's your favorite tribe to play then?
To pilot, I've never been much for tribal decks. I mean, I've done.
Surprisingly, mine is not Eldrazi. I do love my Eldrazi, but mine's not Eldrazi. I prefer playing zombies if I'm gonna play tribal.
I'm allowed to come at your elves. Calm down. You wasn't around when elves were like. You think they were bad now? Well, they're worse now. But I mean, like they were. They were so bad back then. So bad.
Yeah,
and they got nothing but ever continuing support. I'm still trying to figure out what's my favorite to pilot. I mean, as far as tribes go, I mean, I've never been much to build tribal decks, and I've done a few.
I remember you had tribal golems for Tribal Wars when we did Tribal Wars in our play group.
Well, and that was a challenge because I could have picked any tribe in Curve Stomp, but then I let the masses pick a tribe that they think wouldn't be good, and I was given golems, which that was a fun deck to pilot. I mean, and that was a fun tribe. So I mean, I guess you could say golems because golems has some big nasty
Nobody
heavy
expected you to
hitters.
use it. Nobody expected it to do as well as it did, and I think you did. Yeah. I think you won Tribal Wars with that, didn't you?
I did win Tribal Wars with that deck. I mean, there was Blight Steel, there was Dark Steel, there was all the golems and the recursion and Alibu being a golem and the value she gave me access to Boros colors. It was great.
Um,
I like zombies. So I mean, I guess before golems, I liked playing zombies a lot. I always did a bunch of zombie shenanigans back in my earlier days with Shepherd of Rot. I always liked to play suicide zombies. And I guess you
you
could
my
say
first 60 card zombie deck based around Grim Grin. That was my favorite zombie card was Grim Corpse Board, and you helped me build a 60 card deck around it. So
imagine him as a commander.
I know, right? But I prefer him to be in the 99 and have Thraxi as the commander. That way I have access to red too.
Zombies is good. They have a lot of good support. I guess technically the closest thing I have to a tribal deck right now that I'm enjoying would be Kratos and Atreus because that is technically a god tribal deck. But even though that's not 100% of the deck, it's technically a proliferate deck. But the gods that I do run give me insane value, and there's enough in there to classify it as a tribal deck. So I guess you could say my favorite to pilot is gods.
Okay. Yeah, because Atreus and Kratos are it's one of the faster decks I've seen you pilot consistently with major wins. So
Yeah, the deck still gives me trouble from time to time, but yeah, I like my gods. I like golems.
You've
like
been
zombies.
playing Magic a lot longer than I have. I was introduced in 2010 through some college buddies of mine, and you refined my knowledge. What is your favorite Magic the Gathering card?
Last Word.
Last Word. Nice. Me personally, my favorite is. Me personally, my favorite is Emrakul Aeon's Torn, and that was before I got it signed by Mark Teeden.
Makes sense.
It fits the theme, right?
Makes.
I always thought your favorite card was Pox.
No, I hate that card. Who wants to deal with fucking fractions?
Exactly.
Like, look, I just want basic arithmetic, okay? I don't want to deal a third of this and a third of that and a fraction of this and half of that. Like, just give me a solid damn number and call it a day.
I know Chris Dover's favorite card is City of Ass.
I wouldn't know. Chris, is your favorite card City of Ass? He said no.
I figured it would be because it fits his personality so well. Their card. Last Word.
It's a little egotistical. I only liked this card because of the flavor text on it, which is a little egotistical. And I used to be that bad, but I'm not like that anymore. But this was my favorite card by a long shot simply because of the flavor text, and it was also drawn by Scott M. Fisher, who is a legendary artist and one of the original 49.
Okay. Yeah, that flavor text does sound like something you would say back in your younger days.
Oh, it was. I used to remember what cards were by their flavor text.
I remember we tested you on that. When you was in Blacksburg, it was me, Dustin, Anna, and you, and me and someone was pulling random stuff out of your bind and reading the flavor text, and you'd rattle it off. Name, the mana value, who the artist was, power and toughness if it was a creature, and sometimes the effects. I think your knowledge of flavor text cards stopped after Lorwyn.
Uh,
At that point in time,
I'm
did you
not
just
sure.
say? Because that day I remember you said anything newer than Lorwyn. I don't really know based on flavor text.
Well, there was just a lot. So a
Which
lot
brings
of
up my earlier
cards to
point
remember.
that Magic needs to go do the Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel route and put everything digitalized on a console like Master Duel is. Excuse me. I tried to mute my
Eh.
microphone before that happened.
I'm having a brain fart.
It happens a lot, especially when you're married to somebody like Amber.
I didn't marry Amber. You did. So that
I
should be
know.
your brain
I'm
fart.
saying it happens a lot, especially when you're like me and you're married to somebody like Amber. I do know that Tyson's favorite card is Omnath Locust of Rage. He found it in
You
my
should definitely
book
ask
and
this. And what?
ask what?
I was saying you should definitely ask Dustin about Omnoth Locus of Rage or Locust of Mana.
I remember that deck, but Tyson found it in my book and it fell out as we was putting stuff up because we was sorting through cards. And he picked it up, and instead of putting it in his mouth like he does everything else, he just held it and stared at it. So that we've said that was his favorite card because everything else goes straight to his mouth. Amber told me to shut up. I like how Magic takes the evolution of their cards seriously, and you'll see different versions, like with Omnath, for example. He went from monocolored to now he's off colors with Phyrexia and black.
Oh, good Lord.
What is a brew you're working on now, Ken? Besides the tentacle lady.
Um, Lady Octopus and Captain Howler are my most two recent brews. I just got Captain Howler finished this week and took it to F&M last night, and then Lady Octopus was done a couple weeks before that. Lady Octopus was birthed from the remnants of my Dr. Eggman deck. Fortunately, that was a brew I just could not get it to work. There were too many pieces, and I couldn't find a cohesive strategy with it. And plus, it was three colors, which Grixis is my favorite three-color combination, but I just decided to take the red and the black out of it, and I made it mono blue because Lady Octo was in the 99, and I just decided to make her the commander, and now I have a lot more consistency with the deck. And
Okay.
it does things. It does a lot. I don't think you've ever seen or know what she does.
No, I do not.
It's a harmless card, I promise. Christopher's over here laughing. I mean, if it makes anybody feel any better, Lady Octopus is just a 0/2. Yeah, you will have 0 commander damage. It's just it's a 0/2 commander.
Yeah, and I believe that. Like, my job's gonna give me a raise tomorrow.
Well, look it up. Post it for the chat to see.
Just because the card itself has zero power doesn't mean you're not going to give it more power.
Nope. I don't beef it up. I don't Voltron it. I don't nothing. It literally stays a 0/2 its entirety of its lifespan in the game. Excuse me. Lady Octopus.
Something's something's fishy here. It's from Spider Man.
Yeah, I'm not proud of that. I'm not too crazy on Universes Beyond, but some cards are super fun, and she's super fun, and she's super budget.
Don't get me wrong, I like my universes within, but I also like with the TMNT set. I was all hands on deck with it. I still need to get a Raff and Casey, Troublemakers, or Hotheads, or whatever the fuck it's called. But I need to get that card. But I have a majority of the cards I wanted. I didn't pull any of the Eastman and Laird signed, black and white serialized cards because I buy the collector boosters because I'm not rich. But it is what it is. There's Lady Octopus.
Looks like the wheels are turning.
Wow. So you're casting artifacts for free. And let me guess, you draw 2 cards each turn till you get 11 so
No,
you can cast your Blightsteel Colossus.
no, I don't run Blightsteel. This is a restricted deck.
A restricted deck. Okay.
I mean, Blightsteel would give me a good alternate win con, considering that I don't have access to commander damage to win the game. So I'm actually having to rely on some different ways to win, either just beating a bunch of face or using instant win conditions. Blightsteel would throw this deck into a 4. It doesn't run any game changers or anything like that. So, or no, I think it's a 2. I don't know. The bracket system's weird because, like, by definition, you
is.
cannot run this, not run that, and by all these pre-based websites like Architect and Moxfield and Manabox and so forth and so on, and Mythic Tools, and they can estimate the power level of your deck. So, like, by most sources, this deck's a 2, and Blightsteel, while I recently checked, is not a game changer. Blightsteel would significantly increase the power level of this deck dramatically, because then it could be a win con I can force, because
Right.
even in Commander, 10 poison counters still get you.
That part.
But no, I don't run. In fact, I don't run cheesy one shots.
Blightsteel with the Blade of Selves. That's all you need to win the game.
That's a good idea. I should maybe do that.
And Mirror Box to vent the legend pool.
On what? Blightsteel's not legendary.
I thought Blightsteel was legendary.
Nope. You're having a Mandela effect, my guy. Just like I thought Platinum Angel used to be a legendary creature. It's just a creature. Blightsteel is Darksteel Colossus corrupted with Phyrexian Oil. So it's a 12 drop instead of an 11. But
Okay.
yep, it's just a critter.
That it be.
So I mean, there are a lot more threatening and more potent pieces of shiny artifacts that I could cram in this deck and make it a lot more lethal. But I like where the power level of my current brew is at. I think it's fun and it does stuff. I took a special trip up to Concord a couple weeks ago.
A lot of people take that bracket system to heart, and they're like, "Oh, you're playing a bracket 2. You can't play the bracket 2 at this table. We play bracket 5." But if you're consistently winning by turn 3 or 4 with your bracket 2 deck, that makes it a competitive deck, right? Because bracket 5 says if you're winning by turn 4, it's a bracket
Well,
5.
five is now reserved for CEDH, which is meta.
Yeah.
So you, by technicalities, you're talking about 4s, which 4s can win as potent as a CDH deck. So it would be a 4. Kratos and Atreus is a 4. I run more than 3 game changers, and I run a 2-card combo in my Kratos and Atreus deck. And my Omo is a 3 because it is Omo, Queen of Asuva. Get it right. Get it right.
But that would be no fun.
But as I was saying, I took this deck to Concord a couple weeks ago and played at a game shop in Concord, North Carolina for an F&M. And the whole game, the entirety of the game, somehow only worked with 4 lands the whole game. But I had the most impressive board state ever, and I was doing stuff. And I was very impressed. So the deck can operate on very little mana. Even though I'm running more than the recommended amount, I'm running like 37 lands in this deck, which is like a little bit higher, especially with a 1-drop commander.
Right.
But I mean, at this point, you just need to get your butt over here so you can see these decks and see how much you dislike them this time.
I mean,
Chris is over here saying,
you still. I mean, I'll come over. I'll use Raph and Mikey. I've consistently been able to get Raph and Mikey on the field by turn 3.
That's good.
Or I'll bring Splinter. I'm able to get Splinter on the field by turn 2, and then I've got all those ninja effects that trigger twice. Because ninjas is quickly becoming my favorite tribe right now. Playing Master, and I'm using some of the Kamigawa ninjas too in the deck, so to get their enter the battlefield abilities to trigger twice.
Yeah, they had a lot of good synergy, especially in Neon Dynasty's Kamigawa.
I think that's all I got. I don't think I have any of the original ninjas. Might have 1 or 2.
Well, you can always get more. They're dirt cheap.
That's true.
I love a good budget brew. My Captain Howler deck is $40. My Lady Octopus deck's not quite that cheap because it actually has, while it has no game changers, it has some pricey cards in it, like Inventor's Fair and Fabricate and Unwinding Clock and 1,000-Year Elixir. I'm actually 1 card short from this deck being done. I'm not practicing it though because it's a land and all I got to do is just swap out an island for it. But I am actually missing a Minimo Skull at Water's Edge, which somehow or another that used to be like a $5, $4 land back in the day, and I used to have bukus of them, and now they're like $60 to $70 lands.
Right. So I lied. I'm using Ninja of the Deep Hours in Master Splinter. He's from Betrayers of Kamigawa.
Well, there you go. There you go. See, Amber ain't saying nothing else. I figured she would have said something about my Lady Octopus deck at this point.
I know, right? She must not be paying attention, or she's already turned us off and is watching Beetleborgs with Tyson. Or you just got her at a loss for words. I don't know.
Bye.
Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Cut this. It's supposed to be an hour-long show. We stayed over 30 minutes. My original guest did not show up. Glad Magic Buddha did. Thank you for showing up. Even if our viewership only reached 10 people, that's 10 people that might be interested in Magic the Gathering now.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I'm headed out. You have a good day. Don't work too hard and don't hurt Chris too much.
He'll be all right.